Hi guys, my name's Zachary Gulper and we're inside of Bien Cuit and we're going to make some malted muesli cookies today. And the reason that we're going to make this cookie is because it's sort of an interesting version of an oatmeal cookie. The thing that makes it more digestible is that we're adding diastatic malt. Malt tastes great, it becomes a more digestible food for your body and you get more nutrition. You have more access to the positive benefits of the grain once it's in your body. I'm going to start by putting in my brown sugar. We're going to start off with 190 grams brown sugar because it's got the molasses still in it. So we're going to take a very high-fat butter. This is an 83% butterfat butter, European style. I left it out all night, which is what I'd recommend you do. I'm going to just drop that right in there. That's going to be 340 grams, so not quite a pound. And by hand, I'm going to coat some of the butter with sugar. Now, and on a low speed, begin what's called the creaming process. What you're trying to do is allow it to aerate and become a little bit foamy. And in that process, it's going to turn into a paler color. You can see that it's nice and aerated. I'm gonna clean down the sides with the spatula just to make sure I don't have any chunks of butter. Finish this up. Now I'm going to pour in my honey, 45 grams of honey. Sort of drizzle that in as you cream your sugars. Okay, I'm going to reduce the speed a little bit. And I'm going to incorporate my eggs one by one. This is going to be 120 grams of eggs, but really I made this recipe so it's 2 eggs. It will emulsify and become even fluffier than it was before. And this takes just a minute to do. Again, I'm going to scrape down the sides to make sure any of the creamed butter and sugar isn't stuck to the walls or the bottom. And then I'll finish the creaming process. So you can see this is a very different color than the original yellow butter and brown sugar. From here, I'm going to blend my dry ingredients before they go into this. So I'm going to take my baking powder, 11 grams, and I'm going to add it to 400 grams of flour. Now I'm going to take my scraper and I'm going to sort of fold it into the flour because you don't want to have any clumps. Now I'm going to mix in my malted barley flour. Again, this is diastatic, not non-diastatic, because that contains the diastase. The diastase is the enzyme that we're looking for that will help to digest the starch that's in the oat and the flour. I'm going to fold this in a little bit just to make sure that we're pretty evenly distributed. I'm going to, at this point, carefully sprinkle in my cinnamon so that I don't make any pockets. Salt in there as well. I chose to use a flaky salt, and then, on a very low speed, I'm going to incorporate my flour little by little. So we're going to make sure to not overmix this. And what you can see now is the flour and the creamed butter, sugar, and egg has become more or less one substance. Still a little bit grainy. So I'm going to scrape down the sides and make sure that I'm getting all the flour in there and that the substance is becoming one emulsified homogeneous batter. From here, I'm going to finish mixing all of my ingredients on a low speed. So from here, all I need to do is lower the bowl. I'm going to put half of it on one side. That is of toasted oats. That's 190 grams. And half of it on the other. The reason we toast the oats is because by roasting grains, you're developing more flavor. Now I'm just going to mix this in a low speed. I'm afraid it might jump, so what I'll do is actually pulse it so that none of the oats jump out of the bowl. And now all of my oats are incorporated completely. I'll now drop in my raisins to complete the process. And one last time, I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl just to make sure that I've got all my ingredients in there. And one last little spin around in the mixer just to be sure that all of our ingredients are evenly incorporated. Now from here, I'm going to roll these out into logs. So we're going to make a little bit of flour surface. Let's say that we can comfortably turn this into 3 dozen cookies. But the key is less about refrigeration. It's more about having your hands really well floured. So you can see I'm just gently move these guys out of the way for you. Very gently rolling this back and forth. And then I'm going to get it to right about 2 inches diameter. And then at this stage, I'm going to roll it up as tightly as I can without damaging the dough, the batter. And there you go. From there, we can put that in the refrigerator, and that will go for maybe an hour or so before you can cut it, so that each piece stays completely firm. You want it to be solid all the way through. Again, you can freeze for many weeks, or you can refrigerate for up to 7 days. But you're good to go after about an hour. You can cut them and bake them. Flash forward 2 hours, and we have been able to cut our fully solidified batter. So at this point, we're going to bake these at 380 degrees in a convection oven for approximately 12 minutes. So it's been about 11 and a half minutes and our cookies are done. They're ready to take out. So you can see that this is because this is a stiffer batter, the cookies are going to stay in sort of a puck-like. So in the doneness, when you're looking at them in the oven, you're not looking for them to open up and expand and flatten out. What you're looking for is that dark color on the outside. Thanks for watching. These are the malted muesli cookies from Bien Cuit.